No.
Oh wait, like the wait, whoa, let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
Because we've been on this podcast a couple times where I don't know. Have we talked about Jada Pinkett yet?
I'm standing on what I said.
I'm standing on what
Wait, time out.
I'm standing on Jada Pinkett.
When I said what I said, I knew the full story. I'm standing on that.
Standing on Jada Pinkett.
Here we go. We got.
Let's do it.
I just want to say this one thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say this one thing.
Talk to me.
So we seen the post, right? I'm sure everybody has seen it, where Will said something about like he fell in love with like his co-host or some shit like that, or like he longed to see her or some shit. Yeah. And I just feel like everybody just jump ship, like, you know, Jada this, Jada that, because Jada likes to go on her red table talk and talk her shit. I'm not saying Jada's right or Jada's wrong, because I don't know exactly all of deets and stuff. Like, I'm one of those people that takes pinch here, pinch there, so I don't know too much. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we need to stay out of people's domestic issues. Like, everybody wanted to hop on Jada. Everybody wanted to say all these things about Jada. And you guys don't know what their terms were as a relationship.
They told us.
Yeah.
They told us. No, in terms of the cheating, they told us. They got on a table talk and talked about it.
I mean, now, after that, like, after they spoke about that, I mean, before, we didn't really know, like, what was going on with them. Before, she had this red table talk and decided she wanted to go out and spill every beans. Like, nobody really knew the idea, like... Yeah.
But they were... people always speculated about them being, like...
a crazy couple?
Yeah.
Like, swingers and shit.
Not J. Cole. J. Cole said he wanted a relationship just like that. And we all thought Will and Jada... And now everyone's like, I would never want to.
I think it's because they're so supportive of each other. And, like, they're both successful in their own right. And they both have raised 2 kids together that are fucking successful.
I feel like they have...
But, like I said, we could deep dive on this. We got some. No. That's why I said another episode. But I will say, I definitely... still standing on what I said.
I stand. I thought you were gonna get into your. I thought you were gonna get into your other point that you said before about people, like, when I don't want to tell it.
No, because we can talk about it now.
Because it ties into what we said before. I mean, we're gonna talk about. Not said before. We're gonna talk about. You were saying that. Remember I told you to save it.
Oh yeah,
You're like men and women.
I was like, why is it so hard for people to admit when they're wrong? Like, I feel like I'm one of those people that, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna just be like, yo, I'm sorry. I can only be better next time. I can try. I'm only human type shit. And if whether or not you want to deal with that, that's on you, and that's on me for us to progress forward.
Yep.
You understand? So I feel like a lot of people don't see it like that. And men, when they are put in a situation where, like, they feel like they're not right, they argue their point regardless if they're right or wrong. And women will start to lie to back their point to see whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like, men get defensive and women start lying.
Yeah. And I agree.
And I think that's just, like, something, like, I've observed, like, over time. Like, just, like, women get the, like, oh, this is this and this, or this is this and this. And men really would be like, no, like, I said what I said, and that's what I said.
Yeah. I think it's because of gender, definitely. But I think men see the world, well, not all. I feel like most men see the world black and white. I feel like a lot of women like to see the gray area. And it's just a difference in our natures. And it's not, one's not necessarily good and one isn't necessarily bad. Too much of one is bad. You feel me?
I like to look at it a little bit differently. I think men see, like, I would say the world is gray, and women see, like, the whiteness of the world, and men see the blackness of the world. Like, men are very, like, more narrow. I don't like to say these. I guess more men are masculine and feminine, but masculine people are more like narrow. Like me, I'm very narrow and logical in my thinking. Like sometimes, like we'll be having a conversation. I'm like, guys, it's off topic. Like before we're arguing, like I'm very narrow-minded on my things. And sometimes people who embrace more feminine energy, kind of are more like they see the connections and the integrations of everything and how everything's all woven together. Yeah. Like that's more. And I think sometimes men, you'll be having a conversation with them and they like to get dogmatic and double down on their point, even though it's wrong. Like you'll bring up outside points and they're like, no, that's not, and they get down on their point. And then sometimes women, I think women have a tendency to, not even women. I'm trying to stop using men and women.
No, feminine. Just use it. Like
feminine people. Because I know because when you say women, there's also masculine women who don't do that.
Yeah.
But there's feminine women who might do this. So, and there's feminine men who do this. You know what I'm saying? So feminine. You know what I mean? So feminine people, what they tend to do sometimes is kind of live in their own imaginary place, and they kind of pick and choose what facts to ignore and to accept. So like, you can be having and I think it's also human nature, because humans have this tendency, they call it like confirmation bias, where they'll only accept information or look up information that agrees with their beliefs and kind of ignore outside things. And there's also conviction bias, which conviction bias means that once you already believe a point, the more you argue your point with someone else, instead of actually changing your point, you'll believe your own point even more. You start to gain conviction in it. So there's different cognitive biases that cause people to stick to their truths and stick to what they already believe. And it makes it almost impossible to change someone's mind. Go back to, unless the person really is open-minded and really wants to change their mind and like open to new ideas and are more growth-minded and open-minded than other people. But to Lay's point, I've seen it over and over again with like men. Like even simple things like, for instance, something really petty, Michael Jordan. People who believe Michael Jordan is a GOAT, no matter what you tell them, they are going to double down on it, argue with you to death. Right. Even as new numbers come out, new facts come out, like what basis are, it gets to a point now, like, but because you believed it already, you're going to double down and you're going to do it. But I've also met women where I'm having a conversation with them and every 2 words is like, yeah, but.
That's what I mean with the black and white and gray. So like, I would say this: if a man is caught cheating, right, that's a wrong act, right?
Yeah,
that's something that should be like, yo, my bad, I apologize for doing that, I shouldn't have did it. But I know guys that will like have, like the facts will be in their face, and I didn't do that shit. Like deny. But a girl, if she gets caught,
she's like, yeah, but
instead of deny, it'll be like, well, you weren't emotional available.
Yeah,
you feel me? That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so they're deciding to see the gray. The guy knows it's black or white, but he's deciding to stay in the black. Nah, I didn't do that shit.
Yeah,
knowing all the facts is against him, I didn't do that shit. Regardless, they're standing on the fact they didn't do that shit.
I got the text message.
It can literally. The girl's like, "Yo, look, this is a video of us. This is I told your girlfriend Nah, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
that's not me.
But a girl will be like, you know what? Like, yeah, he did come see you and say that, but you weren't emotionally available. You were working a lot. You didn't tell me this. You didn't do it. So it's like that's deciding to see the gray. And the guy's like, nah, this shit is either or, and I'm sticking with it.
I think because of, I'm sorry, like,
no, go.
I think because of, like, also, I always say, like, sometimes the difference between women and men, sometimes standpoints from, like, biology and, like, just how our natural nature. So I think in times, like a man, for instance, where we are more aggressive and masculine and more just, we're physically, men tend to physically be stronger, bigger, and more aggressive, willing to fight than women are. So men were willing to, like, fight on it, like, I didn't do it. Like what? Like no. Like but women, because they don't have that, they're more graceful. They'll take the role of manipulating you.
Yeah.
Like the role of passively aggressively getting their side to work out or manipulating their side to win. For instance, you might be like, you cheat on me. Yeah, but this wasn't comfortable. Yeah, but you weren't secure for me. And then by the end of it, you're like, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I've seen I've seen insecure men or like weak men kind of get manipulated to something wrong was done to them, but a woman makes them feel like, no, they were the one who was actually in the wrong. And I've seen maybe insecure women or not as strong women, vice versa. Like all the facts are out there that this guy is absolutely terrible. And a woman will be like, but it's not what it seems. It's like
that to me is like, that's some sociopath shit, bro. It's like you know that you can manipulate people, and you know that the person that you're with sees the good in people, so you're willing to make them feel like they're deficient in certain areas, to be like, oh, but this is why I did this and did it. Everything that I did wrong is justified, but because of what you weren't doing. So now my wrongdoing is not wrong because it's only a manifestation of all your wrongdoings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you led me to this. What else was I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like some fucked up shit to like try to like, because to me it's like, bro, you can't sit there and you can't blame everything on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like, yo, you know what, you weren't this, but I decided myself that I didn't want to deal with that anymore, and I wanted to go out and have fun. Mm-hmm. That's you assuming responsibility. You're giving a reason why you did it, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's not just, oh, I was led to this because you weren't paying attention to me, and you weren't doing this, and you weren't doing. You could have literally been like, yo, you're not paying attention to me, you're not doing this, I'm out. I don't want to be with you no more.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because that's the same person that you're gonna have to break up with anyway now, because you cheated, or you did whatever. You feel me? So it's like, I don't understand how people can kind of keep that mindset and think that shit is okay. Because I've had friends in the past where it's like, guys and girls, you know, they might have came to me with something and like, yo, this person did this or this happened or whatever, and I'm like, yo, that's not your fault. You can't let someone tell you because they're going through this with their family, this is how I acted and you should accept it. You should. It's a truth, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you should be like, all right, like, I understand that. Like, I know you're going through a hard time, and I know that might have caused you to think irrationally, but still, you knew what the deal was, and like, you feel me? Like, you can only allow certain excuses, bro, because people will take that shit and they'll really run with it.
Yeah. And
then they'll make you feel like it's your fault for just fucking existing. Like, oh, Lay, I know I didn't do this, but I was feeling reserved because of this, and because, like, you spoke about it before. You were saying that you had a guy that started like acting weird because like you were kind of like making more moves than him and doing this and doing that. And when you're helping him try to get to the point he's at, like, he almost tried to like throw it back in your face. Right. And to me, like, that's pure insecurity, because it's like you are supposed to understand that this person was in a better position than me, kind of like allowed me to like be myself. I'm like, you know what, you're not where you need to be, but I hope you build to get to that point. And then now you build to that point, and you're not even gonna give that person like their whether they got together or not gonna be together, but just give that person their respect and the due diligence to be like, all right, like, this person helped me get to this point.
You know what's crazy? Because niggas be spinning blocks. Like, you want to do some shit like that? You want to play me, right?
Stand on it, right?
And that's my motherfucking stand on that shit. Don't come back, because now niggas want to come back,
the
right?
Episode, stand on that shit.
Because like, the situation that Santi's talking about, we're not gonna get too crazy into it, because like, me and old boy is still pretty cool, but like,
stand on that shit.
Stand on that shit.